Let me share my screen. Okay. This is assignment 2-4, the part 2 of the chatbot assignment, dialogue management and response generation. And so I've done task 1, which was add the dialogue manager, and task 2, which is building on the dialogue manager using the dialogue manager.java class and dialogue state table Java class. And I incorporated using randomized responses for the greeting case. So let me show that right now. Put this down here. So I run it. And so I could say for the chit chat case, I could just type in chit chat. And the chatbot says, "Greetings, how can I help you?" Or I could tell the chatbot greetings, and it gives me a different randomized response, which is, "Hi there, what can I do for you today?" And I can give the chatbot 2 responses. It will give me a message back. So I could say, "I want to eat some food." It says I can help you find great restaurants. Or I can ask it a question like, "Is it going to rain?" Question mark. And it says the weather is sunny today. So what is different clearly is the fact that from the last assignment, we use intent scoring, and this does not give an intent score back. And for the last assignment, it would say whether the message that I as a user gave was in domain or out of domain. And for this assignment, it does not have that. It's just dialogue. And what I wanted to do for this assignment was to also give, like, print out the state, the dialogue state as to like what I'm asking for. So if I was asking for a location or asking about food or asking about weather, they would print that to the screen. But so far, let me close this out. And so that's the one thing I did implement for the randomized responses to the grading. And I picked the response in the dictionary, which I will show. And for the other two, I did not incorporate extracted slot values. So if I were to be given more time, so Professor Huang, if you were to give me more time for give me to like not next Thursday, this Thursday or Friday, then I could improve my chat bot. But I feel like I'm running out of time because of my other assignments and my exams I had to do. So I apologize if this seems rushed. So now I'll walk through my code and show you how I implemented each method, and I'll answer each question too. So for the dialogue manager, um, I did not incorporate any extracted slots or next state. So as for this class, I'm going through, I don't think I implemented anything for the dialogue manager. That's why nothing had printed to the screen. I did use the dialogue states for the chit chat greeting and the case greeting. So if I, as the user, were to put in a string and just type in chit chat or type in greetings, then that would trigger the response from the chat bot to say, "Let's have a chat. How are you doing today?" Or for greetings, it would give me one of these 3 greetings in the form of a string in this array of greetings, and it would just pick one for me. It would be randomized by this R object, which represents a new random object, which is based on my greeting dictionary. Um, and as far as city content, I believe that's the only thing that I implemented from the assignment. So I guess I'll explain these dialogue states. Um, if I were to give a personalized response, then I guess that I could do that. So instead, I could change this to be a question the input the user would ask. Like I could change this to be a question like, oh, when is my meeting in NYC today? Then I could get a response from the chat bot. And then underneath here, then I could have do something like print, and then I could print the ask location state because corresponding to the question. It could already be like a pre-made message I would already be able to put in the switch case, just like I did for the city time intent. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. So for this dialogue state table, I could have just put a question like, is there like I need to schedule a meeting in NYC today? And then I would get a response from the chat bot, and then I could just put the extracted slots, or really the extracted state, which would be location, ask location. But I did not do that today. So, but that's something I could have done, could have implemented. Um, but other than that, I did not implement anything else to this chatbot. So I will ask the following reflection questions then. So what was the most satisfying part of this assignment? Um, I have to say the most satisfying part was implementing the intent classification and slot extraction from the last assignment. Taking in user input and then classifying an intent for that input, which would give me intention scores. I like doing that and creating my own score. And then based on like based on the keywords within the intent library based on the user input would calculate my score for me. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, and the chatbot's ability to go between states or respond contextually based on slots like city, date, or time. I thought that was pretty cool. Most challenging part though is making sure the chatbot could be accurate or flexible enough to handle a variety of user inputs. So I feel like the chatbot's variety is only based on how much variety you give it. And sometimes overlapping keywords like order food or find city could be difficult for the chatbot to understand when you're trying to make it so dynamic. And so I think that's something I have to learn to fine tune with that. What did I plan to do but did not finish was incorporating, like I wanted to print out uh the dialogue state. So ask location, answer weather, answer snow after I got a response from the chatbot. That's something I wanted to do. And maybe incorporate scoring for the dialogue state table. If I could implement scoring, that's something I wanted to do. But if I could do that too, then that's something I would want to do. Um, and lastly, oh, and also to see how the chatbot would go about like handling time. Like I know I just state the time, like 7 p.m. or what time is it in military time, 4:30 or 2:30 p.m. But if I were to ask you like a date, like, if I were to give it different times, Like what for if to see if it could handle like 2024 09 01, if it could handle that date, handle dates differently, or 2024 dash 01, sorry, dash 09, and then 11, some like, sorry, not 11, 12, just to see how the chatbot would handle different date formats would be interesting. That's what I'm getting at. And then lastly, what did I learn? I learned that it's best to take time and to see how you're managing your intent classification and your context management of your answers so that the chatbot does not get confused, and to ensure that you have a smooth conversation. Because if I were to actually be demonstrating this, in a public forum, I want to make sure my chatbot is able to flow from one topic to another, just like how we as people are able to do that. And that is able to handle the user's expectations when you ask them a question. You know, like I figured I would have to be more specific, for this ask location, where are you? I could be many different places, but I have to create a message to make sure that, if I was being specific, I'm in NYC, then it can handle that. Instead of asking broad questions, each question would have to be specific so the chatbot can also be specific. But that is it for my demonstration of this chatbot and my explanation of the functionality of this demonstration of the chatbot itself. So thank you very much.